Before we go to testimonies, I want to introduce a couple to you that I felt the Lord tell me to fly them in because they've been on the ground in Namibia. They're pastors of a great church in Windhoek, Namibia. I preached for them quite a number of years ago, and everybody treated them like dirt. They have a mega church, and they would not close. And I want them to come greet you right here. Pastor Haruna and Titi Goro, come up. My dear friends from Africa. When you hear what they've been through, and as a nation, it's mind-blowing to you. And they would not stop. In actual fact, they wouldn't let him near the hospitals, but he went and prayed. And I'll let them tell you what's going on, but we love you so much. How are you? Good to see you. Come. Greet the people and all those watching by television.
Greetings to you in Tampa, Florida. It's such a joy to be home, away from home, here with my brother from another mother. Don't you mind how he looks and how I look? Some things happen and miracles do happen.
Yeah, you can see we're like twins.
When our mother gave birth to us, he fell into bleach, and I fell out of the bleach and remained the same. Wow, what a joy to be here. Thank you for having Titi and I. We're looking forward to having a wonderful, wonderful week.
Now, they've been watching The Stand in Africa every night. And he came as a missionary from Nigeria to Namibia with $300. Yeah. So this is the pastor that I told you about, how when he was preaching out in the townships, there was nothing, just bicycles and dirt. And he said the day will come when the cars will park here. And I mean, you go there now, it's a beautiful sanctuary, marble, cars, everything. It's phenomenal. He's on television. They author books. I mean, it's amazing what they're doing. They got 2 daughters who we ought to find husbands for.
Wow.
Thank you. Answered prayers.
Huh?
Answered prayer.
Yeah.
Okay, so now tell us about what went on in Namibia and what you did. Tell the people what happened.
Okay, especially since the start of the year, the surge of COVID, it was so bad that the morgues were full to capacity, and dead bodies were being kept outside with no place, and they had to start constructing mobile morgues for people. And the government would not let anyone go in for visits in the hospitals. I wrote a special letter requesting the Ministry of Health of Namibia to give us permission to go and pray. And since the doctors are overwhelmed and the government completely overwhelmed, so we said we're going to stand in the gap and trust God for miracles to happen. And the reply came back saying, no prayer is allowed. So I thought within myself, now, who gave Jesus a permit to pray for people? I'm not going to wait for permit. I already received the permit when he said, go ye into the world. So I walked out of the office of the officer of health, and I asked them to show me where the COVID patients were. And they wouldn't let me go in. I forced myself in, because we were having deaths upon deaths, and people will just lie with no beds and wait for other COVID patients to die so they can have a bed space. And so Namibia was put on the red list.
But remember, this is when they were vaccinating everybody. So the moment they vaccinated people, people were dropping dead like flies.
Yeah.
One minister in his 40s quit the ministry because he couldn't handle it, and he was afraid and died of COVID. He died. And then they were all getting vaccinated. They wanted him to get vaccinated. He said, I'm not getting vaccinated. They were using a Russian vaccine that they now had to make the announcement, we cannot use this anymore because everybody that's getting vaccinated with this vaccine has AIDS. Isn't that right?
And so what happened, I went out of there and decided I was going to go from one COVID word to the other and pray for the people. So I did it without permission and prayed for all of them. In 3 days' time, the entire clinic was empty. And they had to bring in machines to fumigate the entire place, gave the hospital staff 1 day off for them to clean up the place, and then went back to operation. Before all the hospitals, nobody could go in for any other, if you had any other illness, there was no space for you. Only COVID patients. As I speak right now, in the entire capital city, we don't have up to 5 cases of COVID.
Wow!
Everything wiped off.
Amen.
And so we went praying from one hospital after the other. We said, if Jesus were to be here,
Yeah.
he would have ministered to COVID patients.
Of course.
And what?
No, surely if Jesus was there, he would have put a mask on.
No.
And he would have got vaccinated.
No.
But
And he
you
would have
see-
been socially distanced.
But you see, Dr. Rodney, the whole foolishness with this thing is that I don't know how COVID knows when you are eating. And then COVID will back off from you. In the plane coming here, we were told you can eat when your mask is down. That means COVID went back to Wuhan.
While you are
For that period that I was eating, then the moment I put it right back, COVID returns to the plane.
Oh.
And it's foolishness. So we stood and we said, we're not going to bow. We became the only pastors
That's right.
in the entire nation,
Yeah.
like your crazy pastor. Wow.
we are
You know, just before you talk, if 2 of us were here in Tampa,
Yeah.
he would be our pastor.
big time.
I mean, this man, you're more dangerous than Daniel.